Okay, so what I want to learn today is there is the same way there was something called the Miraglim, that the Miraglim went into Eretz Yisrael and they lied about how Eretz Yisrael was.
They didn't lie, they didn't.
Well, they misconstrued the truth, right? Well, that is really an old trick of the Nachash. The Nachash in the time of Ma'aseh Bereshis, right? He convinced Adam. He told him that what Hashem said not to eat Eitz Hadas was really not for his benefit. He told him that if you eat Eitz Hadas, it'd be like Hashem doesn't want you to, so therefore he's preventing it from you. So what was that Nachash's doing? He was trying to make what was Tov into Ra and Ra into Tov. That there's a special energy in the world right now, which is mitgashem, it's actualized in Hollywood, in the porn industry, whatever it is, that the expression of sexuality in the world that has the potential to make a person happy and satisfied is being sold to people as boring and something you want to avoid. And the things that are the opposite of what Hashem said are being sold to people as fun and exciting and the way to be. Now the depth of this is that the Satan's job, the Nachash's job, is always he really wants to kill Adam. So the real inside power of this is actually what happens is people end up having very deep lack of satisfaction. And to understand why people have lack of satisfaction, and yet it works to pull people in, this is what people call addiction. And we'll have to understand how this sheker works in this expression of pornography, and then we can understand how to fight with it and actually come to satisfaction. So let's take, for example, one of the things that's displayed on the porn world is the fact that a marriage is boring and will end up making you dissatisfied, and the most fun thing in the world possibly is to cheat with someone else's wife. They're putting out into the world like, oh, this happened with someone else's wife. Either it's the fact that it's stealing is there, or actually presenting the fact that it would be enjoyable for people to give their wives over to other people. And they're throwing this out into the world as an idealism that this is more fun, it's more interesting, there's more sharing, there's more experiences, right? Another way is boring. How could you stay? So many boys ask me that, how could it be that you're going to stay with the same woman for 50 years and be satisfied? Ad Kedei Kach, this is such a big impact in the world that I once spoke to a person who calls himself a Rav, and he is a person he says he works in marriage, and he has some kind of shita that he encourages some degree of porn looked at for couples. And he says is the biggest problem in this generation is that people live too long. Because they live shorter, they wouldn't get bored with their wives. But since they live too long, they get bored with their wives, so we have to help them not get bored with their wives. Okay? You see this idea it's been putting out into the world? Now to really combat that idea, the only way to know emes is to go inside and feel. We all have neshamas, we all have a tzelem elokim. We can identify tov and ra, even from within inside of ourselves. Okay? So the way to go inside of this and feel this is a interesting thing. How would you feel if you could imagine, right? You just had had a relationship with a girl, okay, and a sexual relationship with a girl, and this next minute when you finish with her, she's going to get up and go to some other guy. How would you feel? What's the feeling?
This would depend on the situation.
Okay, so let's say you invested in her and you loved her.
Then I'll be hurt.
You'll be hurt. Why are you hurt? You had an experience with her, now she's gone. What's missing? Why does a person expect nemonut? Why does a person expect that the woman should be true to them and stay theirs?
Because when you give somebody time, you'd like them to appreciate it.
So I'm sure she appreciated it very, very much. It was a great experience, and now she's on to another one. So this is actually something which is so built into the Bria that one of the ways, even in the whole world, one of the ways to really anger a guy or anger a girl is to have them cheat internationally.
I never understood where the idea cheat comes from in the boyfriend-girlfriend world. Like, you guys are not married, so what's the problem if he goes and cheats on you? What does that
Right.
mean?
What does
Where
that
did
even
they
mean?
get it from?
What does it even mean? Right.
What does that mean? Why
By
are
the
they
way,
doing it?
it's from before Matan Torah. It says, Hashem said, "V'davak bi'ishtecha v'lo be'eshes chaverecha." That calls man that she's in a relationship with somebody else. It's one of the Shev Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, which means it's simplistic. It has to do with kiyum ha'olam. That to take someone else's, to take a woman who's in a relationship with some other man is something deeply wrong. Well, why is that? What's the omega? We know that we're Tzelem Elohim. Okay? Our natural desire is to be like Hashem. Hashem is giving and giving and giving and giving. But the point of his giving is to create a relationship. The relationship of us being his. He has personal investment in all of our lives, and we are deeply intertwined with him to the point of which at every single time we do something, we represent him. He was looking to create people who are his. Liknot, v'koneh hakol. Right? So the point of the relationship, the giving, is not only to stay giving, but it's to actually create a deeper type of relationship. So a man has a deep desire to give zera, to give himself over to a woman. But the point of giving himself over to a woman is in order that they should have a relationship where he puts all of his energy into her and she is his. It's by definition what a man needs, that if he doesn't have that, there's something deeply missing. There's something wrong.
Isn't it the opposite, the woman? Like you said, the man gives all he has to the woman. Isn't it the opposite, the woman? Well, that's in return, the woman gives all
She'll
she
give, she
has
wants to
the
give.
man.
She wants to be his in every single way and make his life full of her.
But I thought it was that a man gives to her in those three ways: food, intimacy,
At least. Those are
shelter,
basic.
at least the basics,
And right,
and safety.
that makes her safe.
And then the woman
And she gives everything else she has.
gives everything
But,
she
but
has.
everybody tries to, there's minimal and there's what you can get, right? A real loving person doesn't hold back and say, oh, these things I'm giving and those things are not. They're just basic. Right? But the point I'm bringing out is that it's a basic need for every man to give himself over and to have, because of that giving, that she's now his. How does that express itself? That she's saying, I'm only going to be for you. All of our love is going to be just between us. I'm not going to go anywhere else. So that's why it's so painful, because there's something deeply missing in the desire for the experience initially. When a man goes into a relationship, naturally what he wants is to have his. Now we see there's a whole world encouraging people to not do that. Just sleep around, not have anybody his, right? But long term, how does that feel? Does a person feel satisfied? What's missing? This is the whole point that Hashem is showing us experiences in our life to teach us what we really want, what will make us satisfied. A person can have experiences in which they have a sexual experience and don't get theirs, and there's something missing. Why? To teach them about themselves and about how he relates to the world, that what we are looking for is a relationship of being mine, a relationship of commitment. And if I don't have that, there's something missing in me. And therefore, I will deeply not be satisfied. So this way, that's why when you have a committed relationship with a woman, even though it takes a lot of work, but actually there's a satisfaction you cannot get any other way. Because the point of what you really want is that. You want yours. And the more she's yours, the more she receives you and wants you. How does it feel if a woman like wants you, but also wants another guy? Doesn't really want you, she just wants to have fun. How does that feel? But when you make a committed relationship with a woman, and you give to her and take care of her, she wants you. She wants your zera. And that's what every man is looking for in a deep way. So again, when the porn world is telling you, sleep around, take other people's wives don't belong to anybody, the husbands don't belong to anybody, right? What they're basically doing is lying to you and telling you this will make you happy, and it's not. It looks like it has this kind of a glitter. It has like the excitement because we know Mayim Ginuvim Yimtaku, still in waters look sweeter, right? But the way you figure it out is what happens afterwards. How much pain is there brought into the world from this type of relationship? Causing pain, feeling pain, right? So it's literally a lie that that's fun. It actually just causes pain. Another lie, which is part of the same thing, is that in this Znus world, in the world of just sleeping around, there's an encouragement, right? It's normal to wear a condom. Right? So what's the message of a condom?
Protect yourself and your wallet.
Protect yourself and your wallet. It also means that the feeling when a person has zera, right? What do they want to do with this zera? A condom says they don't really want zera. It's just an annoying thing that is in existence and experience that if we could get rid of it, that would be the best thing. Right? But how does it feel if you really listen to yourself and go into it? This woman does not want you. Your zera did not go anywhere. You didn't give her anything. Or you didn't give her the main point. How does that feel? When you start feeling these things, you get in touch with this need to give, this need to provide with her, you. And the need that you have is she should want to be connected to you. She should want to receive you. She should want your zera, because the depth of giving zera is that zera goes inside of her, and forevermore she's connected to you because of that one experience. She absorbed you in her body, and now she's have a deeper relation to you, like you're intertwined.
What about a woman that has so much zera from all different guys?
It makes it extremely difficult for her to connect to any single person because she's pulled in all different directions. And then they have a difficult time of becoming someone's, and they have a difficult time feeling safe and claimed because she belongs to nobody. This is another important thing that needs to be taught. Right? Is there anything wrong with hiring a zona?
Yes, you'll get AIDS and die.
Well, that's actually a spiritual expression. If you see ramifications of something, you know that that's karma. That's mina keneged mina. That this means this. But what's wrong with it? And the question is, there's two people. They both are consenting adults. What's the big deal? We know Hashem told us, Lotia Kedesha bebenos Yisrael. There shouldn't be a zona in the little girls of Judah. The girls of Judah. What's he saying with that pasuk? I want you to imagine for a second, Chas v'shalom, that your daughter was a zona. Guys, user, payer, user. How would you feel?
Would not like it.
Why not? What's wrong? She's consenting adult. It has a very deep message. Very deep message. You You are worth money. That's it. That's your value. You are not valued. Sex is valued for you, and how much is it? $2. A woman is a gift to Adam. Adam Rishon was presented with this thing Chava called, which was such a gift to him, right? Sameach tesamach reyem ahuvim, right? Kisamechacha yitzircha meganeden mikeren. The same way Hashem made you happy. Adam Rishon was ecstatic when he finally saw Chava. It's a gift to him. Hashem representing a woman is a gift to a man. It's an acquisition. Why is it an acquisition? You have to earn it. We say a woman is nikne. What does it mean to nikne? It means that you, to the degree that you invest, that's how much you have her. Now, you can either give the value to that experience and say, you know what she's worth? She's worth all of my love. She deserves my ksuba. She deserves to be taken care of and loved and protected, pleasure. She deserves that because she's my wife. That gives value to the concept of wife. If you take a woman and you say, she's giving you a gift now, she's giving herself, you say, you know what you're worth? These $3. You're breaking her, you're destroying her complete self-worth. Why is it that if the biggest insult you can give to a woman is call her a slut? Because it means she has no value. Now the guy who's willing to do that, he's so selfish, he's willing to harm somebody for his own selfishness. And this is a very deep lesson that Hashem says to us, even if someone is willing to consent for you to hurt them and bring down their value and destroy their self-worth, don't do it. Because it doesn't make a difference if they're willing to do that. You shouldn't be willing to do that. Because the person, what you develop into by doing that is a really horrible human being.
Why is it that the woman is like killed, her body becomes devalued? What about our body?
Her value, not her body. A woman is a gift to a man, not only her body. Body is an expression, right? She has a man needs a woman in this world. He needs a woman to have babies. He needs a woman for her chokhmah, for her intelligence. He needs a woman for her love, right? He's going to search out a woman. Now, he gets to decide how he's going to value her or not, right? If he said, I want to marry you, but I'm not going to touch you until I make sure that I commit to you, that I'm going to take care of you and love you and protect you. I'm going to give you a ksuba. And then I'm going to be with you. That puts her in a status of she's a queen. She deserves to be taken care of. And that's when she gives herself over in that context. But if she's just like, yeah, whatever, you sleep with her, whatever. You pay her some money, stop, you made her feel good, right? What was your message to her? She's actually not worth very much.
In the porn world, is that their message? Or maybe they're doing this because like it's attractive to people and it's such a money-making situation.
There's always, I'm not talking about the technical motivations. I'm talking about the teachings, what it does to the world, which is motivated by the Satan, the Tzad Ra in the world. What does it teach you about the idea of a woman giving herself to you? That it's nothing. Which is why what happens nowadays is, right, a phenomenon is new, that it used to be if a guy would ask a woman, show me a picture of you nude, he would at least get slapped across the face. Right? Like, who the hell do you think you are? Nowadays it happens all the time. How did that happen? How the men got there? Question number one. And the Azos and the Chutzpah that asked this thing. But how are the women agreeing? The reason the women are agreeing is because they're so devalued and told that they don't have any self-worth, that yes, it makes sense that if you want some attention to a boy, you know what you have to do? You have to give him everything. Or else he won't even give you any attention.
So someone is broke, and they can make real good money through OnlyFans. Why would,
Through what?
why not? I don't care about my value to you right now. I need money.
Right, so if a person's willing to, for the sake of money, to do something which devalues themselves, right, then what they're doing is destroying themselves for money.
The value goes up in different aspects,
Halavai.
to different kind of people.
halavai. It actually gives, at the end of the day, it makes a woman into an empty shell. If you want to see that, you can see all kinds of documentaries on porn stars. So a porn star is basically a prostitute. That's what she is. She gets money to give away your body, just happens to you film it, right? The amount of suicide, the amount of things that happen to them afterwards because they feel like nothing. Because she is nothing. Everything she has in the world, she not only gives to this guy who's with, he's actually international. Now she's all over the world. Every single man has her, and what she have? Some money. Money's gone now.
Millions of dollars on this.
Yeah. Now what? That's all she has. Money. Does money give you? What does money give you? A person doesn't feel like they have value in the world. Our whole need is to be valuable, to do something in the world. If she feels actually her value is to get money because people want to use her, and she's a used being for the sake of money, then how much value do you think she has? She's basically an object. Switch it around. How would you like when someone sold you? You got money and they could use your body.
I got offered now, but it wasn't the right price.
But if you felt like the only thing you're worth is this piece of thing, that's it. That's your value. And I think for a woman it's even much worse. Because it's actually one of the things she has to give in the relationship. She's very happy with it and proud of it because it's an amazing gift to a guy. And you're like saying, no, it's nothing. It's only worth $20 or $100 or whatever money it is. How much is that already?
It's $50 a month per person.
How much do they get paid?
Side.
Hmm? How much do they get
You know,
paid?
$50 per person.
Is it worth it?
Okay. I want to move on a little bit. Okay? What I want to do is show you the different lies that exist in the porn world, because the chinuch, the teachings that we have, they're so ingrained in the world that until we look at the sheker inside and see it, it could easily impact how people live, and then they're being robbed of the intimacy that Hashem wants to give them because they are living in a fiction and a fantasy. Okay? So one of the huge lies that the porn world wants to sell is how you relate to a woman in a sexual experience, that guys would love if a woman would be easy, right? She's so easy to sleep with that she's even infatuated by you, comes over to you, and actually she so wants you that you don't have to do anything and you already have her, right? And that is a total sheker, because the way a woman is built emotionally and physically, in order for a woman to be even interested, even in a place where, even if she's here, but for her to be, especially in a real relationship, for her to be interested, you need to invest. To the degree that you invest, that's how the degree she wants. And she wants more, but she won't be able to. And to actually build a woman up to the place where she wants that intimacy takes effort and energy. It takes loving and caring. And if not, she physically won't be able to be there. So they're selling to you a lie, unnatural, making women unnaturally. And of course, they make the women feel bad that when it's like, what's wrong with me? I don't want yet, and this guy's coming and just doing me. That's not the way she's built. And the guy is actually hurting her. And why is that? Because when men have this orla, which means that they have a very disconnected way of using their desire. And a woman is built in this way Hashem wants her. Shasani kirtzono. She's looking for connection. So her body and her emotional sense are there to train a guy how to use his desire in a way that it's connective and makes a real relationship. So she can't go in that speed. She has to go with him. And therefore, she has to go start with her own speed, and the guy has to be with her. This makes the guy actually have more experience, because it's like eating slowly, and it's a real deep connection, which is what satisfied his deepest desires, which is to be his, to have his, to want him, right, to give, right? So the way a woman is created naturally is perfection, and the Hollywood porn world wants to ruin it, wants to lie about it, and to make people think what's not true is true. Right? The same thing goes true with men like when women make noises, right? Of sexual noises. So the porn world describes a fact that doesn't exist, that the women make tons and tons and tons of noises, which is not factual. It doesn't exist like that. It's not real. And the reason they do that, the reason that the women actually, Hashem put into women to make noises is to encourage, to direct, to know where she's holding, to pull the man in more, but it's subtle and beautiful, and it works for the whole process. But to live in a place where it's all fake, where it's like all this noise, which is totally not true, right, gives a person a perspective, which is a lie, right? And it goes there with the entire lie, because you have to remember that porn is something on film, which means they're actors, which means whatever expression they have on their face has nothing to do with the truth, right? So if you actually have a conversation with a porn star, whether it's a man or a woman, are you having a good time? They're going to tell you hell no. Because this is something that I actually I'm using my body, which is created to create love, created to create connection, and now I have zero love, zero connection, and I'm just being used like some slut, right? And the men feel like sluts, and they're like, nothing that I have is meaningful at all. I could give this entire act, not meaningful to her, not meaningful to me, it's nothing. So actually, as the days go by, they lose more and more and more of their cheshek, so they can't even believe they can even have love to themselves, right? So what happens is you're seeing an expression between two people that look very like glossy and great, and it's not true. The people are not happy. Another great lie that the porn world does love to do is that it likes to have an abusive experience of the woman, a dominating male experience of the woman, and the women either have a reaction where it's like either not comment or even happiness, right? That's not true. No one likes to be hurt. In fact, a woman wants to have safety. And if you train a person to want abuse, then they will actually want abuse. But they will feel it afterwards as something wrong, right? Now, what is this based upon? This is a perfect example of taking something which is a truthful concept and lying about it and changing it into a weird way. Because the truth is that a woman very much wants a man, and she very much wants him to be dominated. But how? She wants a man who's good, wants a man who's caring, and wants a man who's safe, and wants a man who's loving. And to the degree that he puts in that loving and that giving and that pleasuring, that's the degree she says, like, wow, you're so awesome, I want you so much. And not only that, I want you so much, she's willing to let her body be completely taken, controlled by this man because he's so awesome. So the domination, there is a certain domination, like the Torah says, v'kivshua koveshota. That domination comes from that you're such an amazing, incredible melech, like Hashem, just take me. And every man has that, would love that experience of like the woman says, yes, just take me, I just want you to have me, right? But it's earned. And when it's earned, the guy feels awesome because he feels like an incredible accomplishment, like he deserves something. That was the whole purpose we were put into the world, to create our relationship with God, to create our relationship with women. And we deserve this incredible love that's happening. And that makes a man feel like, wow, I did something awesome in the world, right? And then he feels fulfilled because he has what he's looking for, which is a woman who's saying, yes, I'm yours. I want you to have me. But he also feels he deserved it. And that's shleimus. What the porn world is trying to sell is, you get domination through overpowering, through hurting, through not working whatsoever. You don't have to work at all. She just comes. And the more you overpower her, the happier she is. And the most amazing experience is when you're more strong and more abusive. It's a lie. And even if you could find a woman who's living that lie, it's because she was so abused that now she has interpreted the world through the eyes of abuse, like the Stockholm Syndrome, that she only knows how to feel safe from a guy hurting her, dominating her that way. And so she'll always look for it. But afterwards, she'll end up feeling not safe because it isn't really safe, and look for it again, look for it again, look for it again. It'll be like an addictive thing. The same way the guy who dominates a woman from a powerful space, he'll have done it and he'll feel like, wow, that was powerful, but I'm missing something. And he'll do it again and do it again and do it again. You know that the case that nowadays is an epidemic going on in the world of called pedophilia, all right, of pedophiles. The reason, the main thrill that the people have of the experience after speaking to them is that they have this incredible power sense, incredible domination, nothing you can imagine with an adult, right? Now, you know what's fascinating? Is wow, they have such a fulfilling experience, so then you should be satisfied, right? Well, the truth is, these guys who are pedophiles, like really, like they have a lot of kids, they are insanely addicted to it. They can't have enough, right? Why is that? Why is that? They're much more addicted than a person would have if they're in a normal relationship, because they're never satisfied, because it's a lie. Because no one will feel good dominating somebody else and feel like, yeah, I'm an accomplished person. Yeah, the fact that Stalin was so strong that he could kill everybody and they have to listen to him. You think he felt good about himself? Right? No one feels good. You're gonna say I'm so great, or I'm gonna punch you in the nose. Okay, say it. Oh, you're so great. Oh, I feel so good. That's how it feels, right? So and it doesn't feel like you actually have. She's not really giving herself to you. She has no choice. You're forcing her. Having a woman forced is not a good feeling, right? It's like she doesn't really want you. So even though you're dominant, she doesn't really want you. Feel that. You're dominating me, but I don't really want you. In other words, the more you're self-aware, the more you realize how many lies they're telling you about this experience, and that you actually will not be satisfied if you follow their ways, and if you have good mitos and loving and caring, then you're going to have a woman who's crazy about you. One of the beautiful expressions of that that's missing in the porn world is you never see, I mean, I don't know, I didn't look a lot of porn, but from what I've researched, it's not part of porn for the guy to spend time pleasuring his woman. It's usually the opposite. He's doing something, right? The main point they're giving over is having her body, she has his body. But actually loving her, doing a full body massage, taking her, bringing her to climax. They're not going to talk to you about that. Because that's the most loving part of the experience, and it's the most sensitive and the most caring part, where a man, in order to do that, he has to become a bucky in her emotional sense, in her body, to care about her, and that makes a person super an amazing guy and developed and loving. And when she has that in her life, she's like, wow, he's an awesome husband. He's so safe. I want him. But they're not going to show you that in the world. They want to have it look like, you don't need to do all that things. You can get a woman no matter what, which is a total sheker. And it doesn't make a good person. None of these people who are using each other are good people. Would you want to be one of those people? It looks like all kinds of fun. Would you want to be that person who uses another person, or the person who became that? That's you feel good about that person? You look at that guy and say, yeah, he's my role model, right? I want to look around and say, you know what I did? I used a bunch of people's bodies, right? So again, it's selling you a lie that doesn't make a person feel good anymore. Another huge lie they're telling you is that all the basic focus on all of these videos is